Now we will make a template for dissection. The template can be made with any material. Let it be with silicone. I just use the base, since I have a phantom. You can use the base with a corrector. It's just that the corrector sticks to the phantoms, then it can't be removed. We will make a template for dissection according to the principle of how we make an impression for a vat sap. We compress our teeth so that we also have a rigid fit of the template itself, as well as we make a key for the vat sap. Here he is, our template itself, waiting until it freezes. When we receive the impression, if we make a template for dissection already, then we get it not from the oral cavity, but from our WhatsApp. We're going to dissect the 21st tooth today, so I'm making this template. We received such a template, and in the area of the 21st tooth, which we will dissect, we make our incision. Halfway down the middle of the tooth. That's the way it is. We get such a template, the excess can be removed. So he has a little bit too. There is. What are we getting? Now when we dissect our teeth, our 21st tooth, then we will have such a ready-made template. That is, now we will focus on what thickness we will need for our veneer. If this was a real, live work, then I would get an impression under the template not from the oral cavity, but from the sap itself. After that, I looked further at how much I would need to clean the fabrics, plus focusing on the macap. Here we leave a small such zone on the mucosa so that we can press, see how clearly it all turns out, and here in it like this, in this way. In order to properly position the patient when working with the microscope, his head must be at the level of our elbows. Then we will be able to calmly sit with an even back to dissect the frontal teeth. We set up the microscope, select our interpupillary distance and how we will work. So I see it again. We turn our patient's head slightly to the right, we should always see everything straight, at right angles, try. Conditionally, we have already transferred the macap to our teeth and now we are starting the processing itself. We start with the marking boron. We work with a step-up tip, first at 40,000 revolutions. With water. When we start dissecting, we hold the pile parallel to our tooth and make such a movement at full power. The movements must be smooth. Then, when we made the first furrow, we slightly tilt the tip, and when we work in the intestinal and a little more. When we work in the intestinal area, the main thing is not to make such a mistake, then you will already prepare the zone to the dentin. On living teeth, you will have a rod to draw gray in the zones where we do not dissect. When we have marked our work surface, we mark the cutting edge. The cutting edge is immersed in the tip of the collection by half. The boosting tip makes it possible to get 200,000 at 40,000 revolutions. We make 3 notches, dry them. And we paint it. You can use either a marker, but a chemical pencil is better. It will not be so in the oral cavity, it will draw better. Not really with a marker yet. After being painted, we change the side. If we start with micro preparation, well, we'll switch to maybe macro. And we begin the reduction of our tissues with the same movements, smooth, neat, we remove everything that we have marked. Right away I'm starting to form a party here. The movements should be slow, smooth and without such jerks, because otherwise you will have a million steps everywhere. When we approach the neck zone, we finally remove the bursa from the tooth a little bit and slowly remove our remaining furrows. Why are we slightly removing it from the tooth? Because we must remember that we need to repeat the anatomy of our tooth in order to fast completely Zamaga. When we form in the area of contact surfaces, pay attention, I keep the boron not from the surface itself, namely with the tip, even a quarter of a thief, I form soup with the tip and make a small cattle in this area here. It's the same story here. I bring the soup itself to the gum in order not to reduce the cutting edge. I put the tip at an angle in this way and compare everything in one line at right angles. I continue to insert the ledge onto the cutting edge and also from this side. The sharp cutting edge is also smooth at an angle well. Degrees plus approximately we get this picture. Now we need to check with you how much we have removed, what kind of world we are in, what we have here, what is wrong. To do this, take a template. So, 2, the thickness is enough and you see how much, what kind of unevenness I get. We can still fix this with the help of red boron. Let's measure what we get ourselves. Well, that's a plus or minus as it should be. Great, let's continue. After we have done the rough processing, we lay the thread. Here we will try to lay 2 zeros somewhere now. We perform a retraction. And we continue the dissection. If suddenly we make such veneers, with such a processing design and we have strong changes in color, then we need to lower the preparation border lower, do not dip the furrow here, so that we do not see the transition, and then the edges of our processing also need to be ideally distally immersed as much as possible into the contacts so that our gums overlap our transitions of veneers into the tooth, that everything will be visible. So, there is. Next, we take the red boron and 40,000 revolutions go to 10. We begin to dissect without water. At this time, the assistant from the puster will pour water and dry it with air spray and air, spray, air. Why without water? Then we will have better control over our dissection. Now we are finishing the tooth of our lifter with exactly the same movements. Now we are leveling our surface, making it more accurate, so that there are no lines, we don't need any extra lines. We work with half of the boron, we form a ledge with the tip of the boron itself without touching the tooth body itself. Drying. In the area of contact surfaces, it is not necessary that the ledge is clearly drawn, it may just be a small bevel. We need a ledge for positioning our veneerchick itself. Too often. I'm cutting a little, alright? That is, you can dry it more often, and I cut the water a little. We level our surface. First we repeat all the same movements with the help of red boron, align to sharp edges, align the cutting edge, smooth the transition to the cutting edge on one side and on the other. After that, we switch to the black shafu disc and smooth out some areas that are quite difficult to fold with a raven. So everything is staggering. The body of the tooth itself can also be slightly polished, so we put on sharp corners. And align. Mine. I also don't like it here a little bit. And we bring it to the end with Kenda. I just saw that I'm going to trim this perfect angle a little bit more with a mountain. I don't really dislike him. I see such a small one here inside, we don't need to remove it a little now. Yeah. With a rubber band we pass our tooth literally a little. We take an enamel knife, here it is in the working part of the small knife, and here is our boron. Completely identical. We work half. We need him to check our ledge. Here there are small irregularities, with the help of a knife we remove them. It's not going to be so easy to take this zone, so you don't need water. Therefore, now we are going to adjust a little bit here at low speeds. Not at me. Yeah. We see there are no signs under the inner one, you can still sit down, work with a knife. All the same, I want a smooth ledge. It's hard to work if there is no microscope, for micro-recurring a chair with armrests. Therefore, the hands are mostly on the weight, you need to look for some kind of support somewhere. That's much better. Yeah. There is. Let's try to check on our. With the help of our template everything. Here is our prepared venereal soup. Done. Let's scan it quickly. Now let's see what we've got. And here is our already scanned, dissected tooth, where we can look at and analyze our dissection. We can do such another thing as draw a border. We can change the color of the model, as I said, and see where we have a ledge, how the tooth is dissected. What else can we add? If you find fault, of course, you can also remove this sharp corner a little and polish it a little more here.